Welcome to the demo series for hashtag 31DayArtist. I'm Alcrin, the creator of the series, and today we're working on negative space. Negative space, also known as white space, is the area around the subject filled with everything but the subject. A negative space can be empty or filled with other elements that aren't just as eye-catching as the main subject in the drawing. When picking your reference for this prompt, I recommend finding pictures with closed negative spaces, like here, with her arms and poster creating a square with some triangles. This makes it easier for when you're judging if your shapes are correct or not. From reference to make sure my proportions are correct. I look for shapes around the subject to replicate in my own drawing, either by replicating it or stylizing it depending on the look I want to portray. If you only use negative space while drawing from reference, your drawing might end up looking a bit wonky. I usually prefer to use negative space later in my sketch to check for accuracy, but in this demo I used it from the beginning. When focusing solely on negative space, all other elements might not take center stage. Like in my first attempt at this sketch, her arms turned out way too short, and I had a hard time figuring out how to fix it because I was too focused on getting the right shapes down. Later, I redid the sketch and compared the negative space shapes much later in the process, and even if they aren't accurate, you can still recognize the pattern from the tracing from earlier. Some artists are really dependent on negative space, as it helps enhance the silhouette of the character. Some people don't think about it at all. I personally don't think too much, beside making sure that the composition looks decent, meaning that I have enough negative space around the head and face so that it doesn't feel crowded, or doing the opposite if that's the effect I want it to have. There's lots of experimentation you can do with negative space, and I recommend trying out different drawings where you use different types of negative space and see how that impacts the feeling of the drawing. I hope you try this out because negative space is a great tool for when you're doing sketching and also when you're drawing from your imagination. Links to the reference pictures, website and Discord can be found in the description. If you try this out, use the hashtag 31DayArtist on social media or post it in our Discord. Bye!